Hi, it's Angel Shaver, Stampin' Up Independent Demonstrator from Kansas, and today is the fourth Thursday in January, and so we are making our fourth card using this month's featured stamp set, Warm Welcome. We will be using this rich raspberry cardstock, 8.5 by 11 piece, cut in half vertically, and then folded to create a card that's 4.25 by 5.5. I also have a piece of basic white for the inside, cut 4 by 5.25, and we are using the Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper for the front of our card. This is available during celebration. So if you place an order $50 or more before tax and shipping, this Dainty Flowers paper is one that you can choose for your free celebration item. I'm going to put that aside because I have some parts ready to go on our finished card. But first, we're going to start by doing some stamping. Let me pull this stamp apparatus over here. And since these are photopolymer stamps, we will need to use the extra foam mat with the stamp apparatus. And we are stamping the open door. And I believe that might be it this time for right now. All right. So pick up my stamp and then ink it up with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. A little bit right there in the corner. All right. Use my chamois to clean off my door stamp. And then we will put that stamp away, set this aside, put the stamp apparatus away for until later. We were going to do some more stamping, and I will be getting out the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So we are going to be doing some die cutting. We have to use the big one today because we are using the Give It a Whirl dies, and those are too big to use with the mini machine. But let's go ahead and get our sandwich built. Put down the base plate and then the die cutting plate and one cutting plate. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cut out our door first. So, oops, one of my lights went out and I'm not sure why. Hopefully the other light is doing the job and you can still see. Send this through. And there we have our door that we'll put aside for later. And now we are going to grab the designer series paper we're going to use on the front of the card and set it up with the Give It a Whirl die right now. I think I'm going to cut it that direction. Right, and there's our Give It a Whirl paper. And then I have a couple more papers to cut with. One is another pattern from the Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper that's available right now during celebration. And I'm going to cut the inside of our open door from that. And we grab another piece of the white, and we'll be using it to cut out the wheel that we'll be using on our Give It a Whirl. All right, and there's our wheel. Put that aside. Now I'm going to put my cut and emboss aside for now. We will need it again in a few minutes, but we have to get ready for it. So we grab the card front, and then we will be putting our door on there with the inside of the door, but we will also be attaching that with the brad. And there is not the little hole on our door like there is in the paper. So I'm going to put the door approximately where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and glue on the pattern that we chose for the inside once our door is open. It's one thing I like about the glue. When you get it the wrong place, you have a minute to move it. All right, now we put it approximately where we're going to want it. And then we're going to use the tip of our scissors to go ahead and poke a hole through there. I feel it. All right. now we can line it up and glue it on there. Trying to think, do I want to glue it, or do I just want to hook it with, yeah, I don't want the door to move. So we're gonna glue it. But we are gonna use a brad to find it, put it in the exact space that we want it. This is opening the opposite way that I usually, or spinning the opposite way from what I usually put my Give It a Whirl dies. And I know that looks like there's a doorknob on the inside wall, but that will change after a bit. We're gonna cover that up. Okay, now it's time to pull my cut and emboss back up, and we're gonna do some interesting cutting. I hope you can see this, but we are going to be cutting our frame for the words we're going to be putting on here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the brad for now. We'll put it back in later, but it's glued right where it's supposed to stay. And we use the hole as a guide for that. Changing my mind. I want it up this direction. Okay. And we're only going to cut part of the frame. So to about there. Only the part you cover with the cutting plate will actually cut. And then we're going to put it back where it was and cover the other part of the frame that we want cut. I hope this makes a big enough opening. We will find out soon. It made too big an opening because I covered the entire thing, which was not my intent. I intended it to just be about that big. So we'll ignore that because I did do one earlier. And we will pull that out. Then I've already stamped the words on this wheel. When you choose to stamp on the wheel, it always makes sense to put your frame right over, put your little spot on the spot, and then see what will show as the wheel spins, and stamp directly in that spot. And voila, open house, open heart. And there it says hello. All right, let's get our card put together. When you use the Give It a Whirl, you need to use dimensionals on the card front so that there will be room for the wheel to spin. And so I'm using mini dimensionals because that's what I happen to have with me at this moment. I have a dimensional who wants to hang out on my thumb all day. Sorry about that. All right. So I will be putting the card front on. You spin the message from the left side of the card. Typically I put it on the right, but that's okay. And I do want the mini dimensionals to put on my arms that are holding the coffee cups. These are what are going to hide the brad. And then we will glue the welcome mat at the bottom of the card. And one final touch on the card front, we're going to add a doorknob. This is a copper dot from the adhesive back metallic dots. So there we have it. And I will be stamping on the inside layer and adding that to the card later. So make sure you come by adaptivecrafting.com later this week or weekend and check out what I did to the inside of the card. See you then. Bye.